Welcome to the Way We See It podcast.
where we talk about politics, social justice, and culture.
I'm Tati,
And I'm Ariana.
and we are your host of this podcast. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Way We See It podcast. This is episode 2, season 3, and now we're finally getting into our weekly topics like we usually do after last week's episode, where it was just us catching up, introducing, or just not even introducing. Well, if you're new, it's introducing, but if you're still here following us from season 1, it was just a comeback episode after being gone for 2 months. But yeah, make sure you follow our socials if you don't already. We're on Instagram, Twitter at The Way We See It with a C, and we are also now on TikTok, also at The Way We See It. You can also check out our website. The link can be found in the bio of our socials. And if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And yeah, just let us know what you're feeling with our videos, because we're doing these weekly videos now also in person, because I'm upstate every week now again. So yeah, and we also just wanted to mention 2 topics real briefly that like happened in the last week also since our last episode. So I just first wanted to mention 9/11. We didn't get to make a post for 9/11 and so we just want to take a moment to acknowledge all the lives that were lost on that day 20 years ago already. But yeah, so we just wanted to acknowledge the lives that were lost that day, whether they were in the towers, the people helping those in the towers, the people in the planes, the people that were on the ground near the area when it happened. Like, it was just a whole catastrophe that, well, for a few more than others, it's going to be more embedded in their brains than, the new people growing up today. But yeah, so we just want to take a moment of silence for the lives that were lost during 9/11. So.
It's also Suicide Prevention Month, and we do want to acknowledge that last season we did do an episode dedicated to that. If you want to check it out to learn more about that, or to help a loved one in a crisis situation, you should check that out. It's a very interesting episode.
If you've lost a loved one or anything due to suicide, you can always check out our podcast website, where we have our resources. And if you go down to our suicide episode for Suicide Prevention Month that we did last year, you will find like the help hotline number and just all our information that we had, if you don't want to listen to the episode itself, on how to help you or someone that you know that is suffering with thoughts of suicide. And yeah. So getting into this week's topic, guys. Sorry, don't mind me. I'm in a lot of pain right now, so that's why I'm like really like dead. But this week's topic is sleep paralysis. And why did you want to talk about sleep paralysis?
I've never experienced sleep paralysis. I don't know anybody that experienced it. But Tati was the one that was like wanted to talk about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm down. You know what I mean? Like, it probably like has to do something with like mental health. And after like reading articles that we use to research, I'm like, it does. So something is probably gonna come up sometime in my career. I remember like back in like middle school or high school, people talking about lucid dreaming, which is different than sleep paralysis, but it can happen during sleep paralysis. So lucid dreaming is like when you can like control your dreams, supposedly.
Yeah, I have a few of those dreams.
That never happened to me.
Well, no, I mean like sometimes I'll have a dream where my conscious becomes semi-awake and I'm able to control what's going on in my dream. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, so then I've experienced that.
So yeah, This is gonna be a learning experience. This topic.
And
maybe for you,
yeah,
you guys.
But when I did that, I was in like elementary school though. I remember like there was just this one dream I had. It's so off topic, guys. But like I just remember being in the second grade, and I had this dream. I was in the recess yard behind my school, and I had scraped my knee on the concrete, just regular concrete. But you know how the concrete sometimes at schools are like shiny and it has like that sparkly color thing to it. So I scratched my knee on it, and I now have sparkles on my knee. And then I don't know what, but it made me like sort of enchanted, and now I had my own like Pegasus horse. And then my squad that I had at that time were all like, Tati, where you going? I was like, I'm out, bro. but then I was able to get them horses too, and then we were all out. And then next thing I know, everybody was werewolves, because at this time Twilight was going on.
This is just second grade? What is this? Is like your imagination.
Yeah, but this was a dream, and I was really like into it. I would wake up in the middle of my sleep and be like, no, I need to go back to sleep and think of it again, but then I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I'll be trying that. That don't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore, but that was back then, and I'll always remember that dream. That dream was lit. We were literally 6 years old. I was thinking of us having a party and drinking. But yeah, so I wanted to discuss sleep paralysis because I do know people that have had experiences with it or still experience it. And, you know, just in case I am with them when they experience it, like, I just want to know personally, like, what I can do to be there for them. Because, like, we're going to get into it later on the episode, but I just wanted to know if it may have anything to do with religion. Because a lot of them often say that they see actual demons or how they actually look and not just dark blurry figures. So I wanted to see what was the mental trigger, or if this is maybe something that has to just do with our culture, and that's what makes us see these certain things that are different from other people that talk about their own stories. So what is sleep paralysis?
So according to the Sleep Foundation, sleep paralysis is a condition identified by a brief, a few seconds or few minutes, and can last, and loss of muscle control known as atonia that happens just after falling asleep or waking up. In addition to atonia, people often have hallucinations during the episodes of sleep paralysis. So like what Tati was saying, how sometimes people see like demons like during these incidents of sleep paralysis, and those are like hallucinations.
Yeah. And during sleep paralysis, the person is unable to move their body temporarily, but is fully aware of their surroundings. Some may even experience visual hallucinations, like what we just said. And there are two types of sleep paralysis that are most common. So there's isolated sleep paralysis, which is when the episodes or dreams are not connected to an underlying diagnosis of narcolepsy, which is a neurological disorder that disrupts sleep-wake processes. And then there's recurrent sleep paralysis, which involves multiple episodes over time. And I just wanted to read a story about someone's experience that we found from one of our resources. And it is like, if you just close your eyes right now, guys, close your eyes.
Is this scary? Like, should we do like a trigger?
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't want to listen to this person's this is a personal experience that from an article, so we have consent to say it.
Yeah.
If you don't like scary things, skip this part, because this person goes into detail what they experience during sleep paralysis, right?
Yeah. Okay. It's not that deep. They get into their feelings and everything, but just in case, just a trigger warning. And so everybody just close your eyes right now and clear your mind so you could try and imagine this and see what this person is going through. So they say, my eyes are open, and usually I get the sense that something in the room is happening, so it's more like apprehension. It's sort of belief that something's going to go off, and then a shape gathers, a sort of small black clouds gathers, and it's the devil, it's a monster. It comes onto me, and I can feel its weight, and basically the belief is that it's holding me and that it's going to drag me down into an abyss. I can feel sensations on my body. It's multisensory. I can sort of smell it too. I feel sensations in my body like in a lift. I feel like I'm going down, but I can't move. Well, I try, but it never works. Usually all I can do is make a kind of hum in my throat and try to make a feedback cycle, make that louder. As it gets louder, the more awake I get, and the more I can do until I can eventually perhaps shout, and that wakes me up and properly wakes me up. And I just wanted to add on to that real quick before I get into the next story, is that me being with somebody that has, like, I've been with somebody while they experience sleep paralysis. Like, I heard them making noises in their sleep, and that was their way of trying to get out of it, because they feel like they can't breathe. And it's just one of those things where you being a person there in that moment, it's like, why is it so quiet right now? And then you realize that the person next to you is going through it, having an episode, and they themselves are trying to snap themselves out of it. But, like, we don't even know that, because it's a mental thing that they don't even know that they're doing themselves at the same time. So, damn. Wait. I lost the other one.
Oh, that was just...
That was part of it. It was the beginning part. But there was another part of it where he talked about getting dragged down. Let me find it. Okay, so here's the second one. So first of all,
So this is another story?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's still adding on to, like, what that person, like, has felt previously. It's the same person, but two different experiences. So first of all, I dream that I have awoken, although usually not always. I'm not conscious of the fact until after the experience. I believe that I am awake and lying in bed. I cannot move because there's a huge weight laying on top of me, which I fear is some kind of monster. I am always lying on my front with the monster on my back. Sometimes I can hear a kind of unearthly growl coming from the monster. At this point, I panic, but to no avail. I can't move. I panic more and apply all my strength to rising. I try to scream for help, and usually this is impossible, as my voice is paralyzed as well. Sometimes I can manage to scream, but with great difficulty. It usually is inaudible and never disturbs anybody. Eventually I awake, but remain feeling very frightened, and sometimes to the extent that I cannot return to sleep for the rest of the night. And then the third one with the person experiencing that is that, where is it? I have it here. Okay, they said, I'm laying on my back with my eyes closed, which is something we're going to get into. And I feel a crushing weight on my chest. I felt this before, so I'm not scared. I open my eyes just a little bit, and I see this two-dimensional gray humanoid on top of me with three-dimensional dirty gray hair hanging in my face. He is clutching my chest and dragging me down the bed into a wooden box that looks like a casket at the foot of my bed. I know that if he drags me into the box that I will die. I turn my head sideways and look into the mirror that faces my bed, and I watch myself being pulled down the bed towards the box. I am absolutely terrified by this point, and I finally wake up when I'm transported back to the top of my bed with my head looking up at the ceiling. Yeah.
Wow, that last snippet was something.
If I imagine, like, looking in the mirror and you just see yourself getting dragged down, I literally have a mirror at the end of my bed.
But so just a question: is hallucinating? The person actually moving, right?
No. They're saying that they're thinking this is happening in real life, but then once the thing is over, they realize that, like, it was like a dream. Or other people say that they were half awake, half asleep, and, like, let's just say, like, they're half awake, half asleep with their eyes closed, and then they open their eyes and they see things, and then, like, it's like in and out.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. Okay. So that's why they say it's a dream / hallucination.
It's like a mix.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so we're gonna get into things that causes this now.
Yeah. So because a lot of people don't report that they have sleep paralysis, like they don't go to a doctor, they don't see a mental professional, because it's not very common for people to talk about it, and because of that they might feel like they're shameful for saying, like, yeah, I go through this, because people might think they're quote unquote crazy, like you're seeing demons and think you're being pulled down and this and
like
that.
You're toxic.
So there's not that many studies. There's not that many studies on this. So based on the studies that have been done, the few studies that have been done, they say there's like multiple causes that they think.
Yeah.
We don't know like for sure.
It's all like hypothetical, most of these research articles for the most part, because that's how little studies are being made with sleep paralysis, which is kind of sad because you're like, it's little to any help for those that actually do need the help, and they're scared to reach out to somebody like Ariana said, and then it's just what they already know from what they read on the internet, you know?
Yeah, so some of the causes are sleep disorders or any other sleeping problems, experience nighttime leg cramps, which I do get.
I get that too.
I got one last night, actually.
Me too.
I'm like, am I getting one because we're doing a topic about this?
Oh,
because I haven't got one in a long time.
No, I had in both my legs, but I have knee problems, so like usually I'll get those like cramps and whatever. But like the first thing that came to mind was like the topic too was like, there's no way, maybe it's because of that. But then I realized I was just going through it.
So yeah, leg cramps, insomnia symptoms, stress, irregular sleep schedule, and mental health disorders such as anxiety, panic disorder, PTSD, or people who have been exposed to sexual, emotional, or physical abuse as a child. So those are just a list of some factors that may cause people to have sleep paralysis.
And you are also more likely to experience sleep paralysis if you sleep on your back, along with the main causes we just stated. So one thing I saw in common with all the articles that we read was that they always mention sleeping on the back. They always say sleeping on the back too much can cause this, or could worsen it if you already do experience it. So the best thing for you to do is try to sleep on your sides, because doctors already don't like approve of people sleeping on their bellies. Not approve, but like they don't suggest that you sleep on your belly. They say it's bad for you. It could cause a hernia, a curve in your spine, whatever. So the best way for you to sleep is on either of your sides instead of your back. But then I also know that that's scary for a person that experiences sleep paralysis, because let's just say they're facing the wall and they have their back to whatever's behind them. Then if they experience it, they feel like they can't see whatever, and they get more scared because they don't want to turn around, and vice versa for both sides. So it's literally like, it's a lose-lose situation, really.
Yeah.
And sleep paralysis is also called something different amongst different cultures. A doctor who was speaking on sleep paralysis mentioned in one of the articles we are referring to about how culture, or how you are raised in your culture, plays a huge role in how each person perceives these hallucinations. So, for example, in Japan, sleep paralysis is called kaneshibari, and the term is rooted in Buddhism. That long ago, it was believed that Buddhist monks could use magic to paralyze others. In Newfoundland, that's what I was going to say. Newfoundland, sleep paralysis has been called an attack of, quote unquote, an old hag. In China, it has been labeled ghost oppression. And a new study reports that in Mexico, people may say that sleep paralysis feels like a dead body climbs on top of me. And I spoke to my dad about this, and I was telling Ariana about it. That my dad, he's from St. Thomas, so the islands, the Virgin Islands, they say that if anybody was to experience like sleep paralysis, or a brief moment of sleep paralysis, it means like someone around you is pregnant. So that's like an example of culture. And then me, like being raised in a Christian household for the most part, Christian family, might I say, I'm raised to believe that those things that these people are seeing is like demons coming to attack, and like you probably have real life issues you need to work on, so these demons or figures go away, so you could be at peace, basically. So it's like really different for all these different cultures, and that's why it would make it more scary than others, you know? 'Cause, yeah.
Culture just makes you see like things differently.
Yeah. And then what can you do if you're someone who experiences this?
Try to get on a sleeping schedule. I'm starting with 6 to 8 hours of sleep. We know that's difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even get to that.
Yeah, me too. 6 to 8 hours of sleep is not enough for me either. 8 hours maybe.
focusing on treating on any of those mental disorders or stress you may have.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe the reason why you're going through this is because you have an underlying mental issue and you don't know that you don't have it.
Yeah.
And maybe working through that, whatever issue you have, that can decrease those symptoms.
Yeah. And then there's also, you can visit your doctor, as we had said. The only thing with the doctors that we also read is that if you do go to a doctor and you're someone that experiences sleep paralysis, either two things. One, you're gonna get everything that we just told you right now, told to you again from the doctor, or two, they're able to help you and put you on a medication to help with the hallucinations, the dreams, the sleep paralysis episodes. But the only thing with that also that's a con is that you would get like, let's just say you stop taking one of your medications one night, you would get hit by a whole bunch of episodes in one night. So they say it could be very overwhelming if you do end up stop taking your medication, and you know, like, the last thing I would want is to not see no figures for a good few weeks, and then all of a sudden I forget it because I'm just, you know, enjoying my life, having a good time, and then bam, like, I see a figure at the end of my bed. I would lose my shit. That shit is so scary. And then I've actually seen a few TikToks recently too about sleep paralysis on my page. And
this sleep paralysis TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But like, people, like, the way people are like doing it and saying how they feel about it literally makes me so scared. I feel like I'm on spooky talk for like October, because it's like they're literally in bed, and let's just say their door's right there. They'll say that they'll see their door open and a figure will be there, but then they, like, you know, once it's over, like, either the door is still open, or the door was never open to begin with. Like, everybody has a different thing. Like, sometimes things are actually moved, or they're moved, or like they experience actual pain, like getting choked out, or what's it called, like, it's just a dream, you know? So I think that's the trippiest part about it, like, really not knowing if it's a dream or if it's a real hallucination. That's so scary. But it just sucks that there's really not much that you can do in the moment. But another thing that we also got from one of the stories of people's experiences is just trying to make some kind of noise if you are experiencing it, because it'll help you snap out of it. Like making a humming noise, like that. It'll help, they say. And then treatment for sleep paralysis.
So the first step is informing a doctor to identifying any underlying causes, like I just said before. We're not doctors, but we have some helpful tips that can help. If you don't have access to a provider or anything, we understand insurance is expensive.
Insurance is expensive. We know that.
Improving your sleep hygiene, so like following the same sleeping schedule. We know that's tough, especially for like if you're in college and grad school, working and going to school. Staying on the same sleeping schedule is tough, but try to have a bedtime routine, like whether it's like, I don't know, light up a candle before bed, or what's it called, a diffuser to help you calm down. Yeah,
I do that sometimes. It helps a lot.
Reducing alcohol and caffeine intake before bed, and putting away electronic devices 30 minutes before bed. Maybe journaling or reading a book is very good.
Yeah, I said that the other night. I literally was talking to my boyfriend about that. I was like, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that you're not supposed to be on your phone or any technological device within a few minutes before bed, because like it messes with your head or messes up your vision even more. Yeah. Something like that. But look, it plays a role in sleep paralysis too. Like,
yeah, I need to work on that, but I need to find like a good book.
Yeah. For real. So I haven't touched my book in a few weeks also. I have to finish it.
Well, I'm reading textbooks.
Literally, I'm reading about Christopher Columbus again for the 10th millionth time. Oh my god. So, how to be there for someone who experiences this common. If you just so happen to be with someone while they're having an episode of sleep paralysis, these are some things to keep in mind to help. So you can either try pinching them on the arm or on the leg, whatever. Moving them a little bit, just rotating their body so they're like being shifted. or moving something as small as their fingers, toes, or eyes. And this is just to remind them to either one, to snap out of it, like it's a dream, it's a hallucination, like, and two, that they're not alone, like you're there with them. Because sometimes, like, people may say they don't see certain things or people if they can't tell if it's a dream or a hallucination. So what's it called? It's one of those moments to like help them snap out of it if you see that they're struggling to snap out of it themselves. So besides these, there's not much else you can do besides making sure that you do that. But what we had mentioned before, that the person who is experiencing it themselves, what they really need to do is seek a way to try and help it. But besides that, I can just say from my own opinion is just trying to be there for them in general. Whether you're there for them or not, when it's happening, it's still scary to even imagine what or how they are feeling, and on top of what they are seeing. So it's just basically just being an emotional support. Like, you don't really have to be there with them while they're experiencing it. Just, sometimes they either want to forget that it even happened, so you can be that emotional support to be like, yeah, so like, let's go out, like, or just watch something with them. Or even if you are there with them, just be their comfort, because that's also a very vulnerable thing to have someone see you be so weak in a moment where you literally feel so helpless and you can't do nothing. And, you were just there to witness it, so you just have to try and be there for them. And, yeah, that's pretty much it, really, guys. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, I feel for people who go through this. I can't imagine. I'll be scared to go to sleep every night. And then without sleep, I'm nothing. Like, I won't be able to function to do all the stuff I gotta do in my schedule.
I think of it as a nightmare, and I'm blessed. I'm knocking on wood, because I would be the type to get a nightmare after this. But, like, I don't get nightmares like that whatsoever. The last time I had a nightmare was last year, when I first moved, and I was having a whole bunch of dreams, which, call me Joseph from the Bible, was all happening. Like, I had 7 dreams last year that all came true. And they were all different symbols of different things, which was so crazy. But anyways, like, I've only had a nightmare last year. But usually, like, a nightmare for me recently as I've gotten older is just either getting kidnapped and, bad things happening to me, or me dying. Mm-hmm. But that's usually the end of those dreams anyways, and like, that right there is scary enough for me. So imagine this, where you're literally getting choked out by a figure in your room.
And you feel it, but mentally, but like, you feel it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Just like crazy to think. I don't know.
It's just so sad though that there's like little to any studies done on it, little to any awareness put around it, and then it's just like, what do those people do really? Like, it sucks though, because like, I want to say our topics and our advice to you would help, but it's honestly, it may be things that you may have already tried already, so it can only do so much, but yeah, guys, that's basically it. And also to conclude this episode, we're not doing current events anymore.
Oh yeah.
We didn't mention that before.
Surprise.
Yeah. So when we're done, that's it. I mean, we could talk about whatever after, but we tired. We have to make TikToks now. I have to do the blog again. I have to make time to do the blog. I have not touched that blog since before March.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, right? I'm going to try and find time. No promises. I do love how our webpage looks, though. I really find it very aesthetic, like, going on it. Sometimes I'm just writing out. But it's a lot of work. I got a lot of school right now. I got work, school, sleep, work, school, volleyball, homework. Ugh. Yeah. I barely have time to eat. Oh, my God.
Well, I always make time to eat.
Yeah, Ariana eats 3 meals a day, you 1 meal a day. But
we're working on it.
Yeah. It's a work in progress. But yeah, guys, thank you for coming again this week to watch us or listen to us. We appreciate you very much, and we can't wait to see you guys the next few Fridays for season 3. So, yep, see you next week.